Hello, this is Big Fat Manatee from AAA. Today we're going to have a look at some flashlights that you might like to put on your keychain. So the first question you might ask is, why would you want a flashlight on your keychain when you're already carrying a phone? Well, firstly, a keychain light's probably going to throw further than the phone light. It'll still be working when your phone battery is flat, and these days with smartphones, as we know, our phone battery is nearly always flat. You can use a keychain light while you're actually talking on the phone. And of course, when you're getting your keys out to try and find your door lock at night, then the keychain light will be right there, so you can illuminate it and get the key in. For a keychain light, what I like is to have a Twisty operation. So that's a light that turns on and off by twisting the head here. And I prefer that because I find them more reliable on a keychain than a rear switch, because if it's in your pocket with your keys all the time, it's going to get knocked around a fair bit. I like it to be titanium or stainless steel, so there's no scratching. I like it to be a AAA flashlight, which is the smallest common battery. AA light's just a bit too big for a keychain, and watch batteries are too expensive to replace and they're not easily found. So this is my keychain light, which is the Fenix E05 SS, which is no longer available, but as you can see, because it's stainless steel, this has actually been on my keychain for about 5 or 6 years, and it still looks basically brand new, and of course still works. So I'm going to go through these lights here that I have in front of me. When I do that, I'm going to give you a Lightbox rating, which is a rating of my own Lightbox, and this is not lumens, but it's the lux value on the meter after the light passes to the Lightbox. So what that does is give you a rough indication of overall output and gives you the ability to compare different lights that I've tested, but my Lightbox values will be different than any other values. And I'm going to also have a throw rating, and this is a lux at 2 meters rating, but unfortunately I've only got this cheap lux meter, and the way I was doing the test, I had a reasonable amount of variance, probably about 10%, so I just sort of did the best as I could. But unlike my Lightbox ratings, which were very repeatable, my lux ratings weren't as repeatable. So if it says 100 lux, it might have been going between 95 and 105 or something like that. So the first torch I have here is the Klarus MiX6. The claim manufacturer maximum brightness on this is 100 lumens. The price I paid for it in Australian dollars was $63.50. It can't tail stand, and it's the least compact of all the lights here. It's a bit longer than all the others. It's got a very smooth operation. It's actually copper in here, and it feels a lot smoother than the other lights, which makes it a lot easier to use with one hand than the other lights. And the actual output, according to my Lightbox, was a value of 92, and the throw, according to my Lightbox, or light meter, sorry, was 130. The emitter in this is a Cree XP G2, and according to the manufacturer, the high is 100 lumens and it lasts 70 minutes. The medium is 30 lumens, which lasts 5.7 hours. The low is 4 lumens, which lasts 66 hours. And the strobe is 100 lumens, which lasts 2.3 hours. Next up we have the Fenix E05 stainless steel. The manufacturer claimed max brightness on this one is 85 lumens. The price is $42.56. It can tail stand. The actual output, according to my Lightbox, was 87, and the throw, according to my light meter, was 100, and the emitter in this is a Cree XP E2. The modes, according to the manufacturer, is 85 lumens for 1 hour, a medium of 25 lumens for 4 hours and 15 minutes, and a low of 8 lumens for 14 hours and 30 minutes. Next up is the DQG Tiny AAA Cool White. It can run on a 10440 lithium ion battery, which gives a claim 210 lumens. I don't actually have any 10440s, so I can't do a test on that. The manufacturer max brightness on normal batteries is 60 lumens. The price is $43.80, and these are delivered prices, by the way. Apparently it's tightened off, but I'll come back to that in a second. So all these other ones, when they're tight, they're on, and then you loosen the head a little bit to turn them off. Whereas these ones here are apparently tightened off. It's got a magnet in the tail which allows you to stick it to metallic objects. And that's aluminium, so that's not magnetic. What do we got? Here we go. Like so. And it's the most compact of all the ones here. The actual output, according to my Lightbox, is a value of 83, and the throw is 100, and it uses a Cree emitter XP-G2, and the modes, according to the manufacturer, is a high of 60 lumens and a low mode of 5 lumens. They don't give me a runtime. But the problem with this one, unfortunately, although this one should be the best one here, or my favourite according to the specs, because of the magnet in the tail and the tighten off, which I'd really like if it did work, but the threads on this I found to be very poor quality, and it's very finicky to use to try and get the light exactly on. So this is actually tightened, but it's on, and I loosen it and then it turns off, and yeah, it just doesn't really do what it's supposed to do, unfortunately. The next up is the exact same light again, except in warm white. So they've listed all the specs as the same again, and the price is the same. But this also has the same problem with the really bad threads. But it does have the warm white emitter instead of the cool white. If I can get this thing to turn on high. Oh, there we go. Yes, you can see. Right, there we go. I'll try and get this one back on. This is a really finicky light to try and use. So I don't know if you can see the difference in the colour tint. So this is a warm white over here, and this is a cool white. So this is a more of a yellowy colour, which I prefer, and this is a cool white, which cool white torches usually have a higher lumen rating. And according to my light values, that was the case. So my Lightbox value for the warm white version was 68 instead of 83 for the cool white. And my throw on the warm white version was a value of 90. So next up we have, this is the Thrunite Ti cool white. And this one here actually comes with a reversible pocket clip. So what you can do with this is you can put it on this way, and then you can put it onto the beak of a hat, then the light will face forward. Or if you want to have it nose down carry, you can just pull the clip off, flip it around, stick it on here, then you can just stick it in your pocket like that with the bezel facing down. So that's a pretty good clip, and it clips on there reasonably firmly, but it might come off because it is only a clip on. So back onto the Thrunite Ti. Manufacturer claimed max brightness is 120 lumens. The price was $32.95. It can tail stand, and the actual output according to my Lightbox was a value of 140, which is the brightest light on the table. The throw, according to my light meter, had a value of 120, and the emitter in here is a Cree XP-G2. The modes, according to the manufacturer, are a high of 120 lumens for 30 minutes, a medium of 12 lumens for 6.3 hours, a low of 0.04 lumens for 115 hours, and a strobe of 120 lumens for 1 hour. So this again works like all the other lights. You tighten on and you just keep loosening and tightening to change modes, like so. The low on this one is really low, you can't even see that it's on, and I keep thinking that it's broken, but then you look in and it actually isn't broken. So that's a good feature if you don't want a lot of light and you're on a really long run time. And moving on to this is basically the same torch, but this one here's a neutral white instead of the cool white. So again, you can see the difference in the tints there. This had all the same specs according to the manufacturer, but my actual lightbox reading on this one was 116 compared to 140 for the cool white version, and the throw according to my light meter was 170 instead of 120, which was really surprising to me that it said that it threw so far, but I retested it a few times and I kept getting approximately the same results, so there must be something to it. Next up we have the Thrunite Ti. It also has the reversible pocket clip. It has a manufacturer claimed max brightness of 162. This one's made of titanium, not aluminium. The price was $39.95, so it's a bit more expensive than the others. You can also tail stand. The actual output according to my lightbox on this one was 128, which is lower actually than this one, even though this one's supposed to be higher. The throw according to my light meter on this one was 100, which again is lower than the other two. And the emitter in this is supposed to be a Cree XPL, and according to the manufacturer, this has a high mode of 162 lumens for 30 minutes, a medium of 12 lumens for 6.3 hours, a low of 0.5 lumens for 115 hours, and a strobe of 162 lumens for 1 hour. So that's all of the AAA lights that I have. My favourite, and the one that I intend to sell, I don't have any at the moment to sell, but definitely my favourite is going to be this Thrunite TIS neutral, and the reason for that is it's the cheapest, or equal cheapest with the cool white version. It's apparently the farthest throwing. It has the reversible pocket clip, which most of the other ones don't have. It can tail stand, and it is the third brightest, but this is the only neutral white, so this is the brightest neutral white, which I prefer the neutral white than a little bit more brightness in cool white. So that's it for now. I'm going to do a water test on them and I'll add that to the end of the video. I didn't want to do it before the video in case I killed the light, and I'm also going to do a drop test on them all, which again I didn't want to do before this video in case I broke some. So that's all. Well, I'm back. I've just been doing the water test on those Keychain flashlights. There they are down there. They've been there for about 3 hours now. And when I put them in there, I didn't have them fully tightened up. I had them turned on, then loosened off until they just turned off, and then backed off about another 1/8 of a turn. So as I said, it's been 3 hours. First one I've gotten is the Fenix LD, oh no, it doesn't say, E05 SS, and still working. The next one is going to be a Thrunite Ti. Looks like it's the neutral one, and it's still working. Next up we have one of the DQGs. And it's still sort of working, but with those finicky threads it's hard to tell, but it is definitely still working as well as it was. There we go. Got the Thrunite Ti now. That's still working. I've got the other DQG. And once again, because the thread, oh there we go. They really are terrible threads on here. I also forgot to mention earlier that the DQGs actually have a little glow ring in the bezel. If I can get it to turn on again. Yeah, you can't really tell in this light, but it does. Next up we have the next Thrunite Ti. This will be the cool white one probably. Still working. And the Klarus MiX6. So there you go, they all survive 3 hours underwater, probably about maybe 30 centimeters of water or 1 foot. Okay, I'm back again. Now we're doing the drop test. The drop test will be dropped from the top of the door down onto the concrete at the bottom of the door, and that's a height of slightly over 2 meters. It's 2 meters and 2 centimeters or something like that. And each torch will be dropped 10 times. So that's the drop test. Each one's been dropped 10 times. Klarus, can't really see any damage. Still working. Thrunite Ti, broken lens. So it's still working, but it does have a broken lens. Thrunite Ti, it's got a dent in there. But it is still working. Thrunite Ti, has a broken lens and is not working. Fenix E05, still working. DQG, no visible damage. Not working. And the other DQG, again no visible damage. And again not working. So there we go. 2 DQGs dead. Fenix working. One of the Thrunites is dead. One has a broken lens but still works. The Ti is fine. And the Klarus still working.